friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am so glad that you're here. I am just now realizing I look a little bit like Cindy Lou Who with my top knot. You know, and that's okay. It's very fitting for this video. Anyways, I am so glad that you are here today and you're joining me during this holiday season. Today, I am going to be giving all kinds of holiday romance recommendations. Some of these I have read, some of these are on my list to read, but all of them give that great swoony Christmas standing under the mistletoe vibe that so many of us are trying to find this season. I am not afraid of cheesiness at any time of year in any kind of book. That does not do anything to me except make my heart so happy, but I definitely feel like holiday romances bring in that extra cheese that even if you don't prefer that in other times of the year in your romances, it just tends to be okay during Christmas, and all of these definitely have that element. So without further ado, let's talk holiday romance recommendations. The first one I want to talk about is one that's on my own personal December TBR, and that is A Season for Second Chances by Jenny Bayless. This book follows Annie Sharp as she enters a new season of life with her children grown and having families of their own, and her marriage of 26 years unfortunately coming to an end. She finds herself alone at Christmas time. So she decides she is going to take a position as a winter guardian for a home in a seaside town. And so she will go to this home and she will take care of it while its owners are snowbirding and catching some rich sun rays somewhere else. And while she's there, she meets the homeowner's nephew and romance ensues. I heard so many good things about this book last year. I heard that it actually really pulls on your emotional heartstrings, which I love in a story as long as there is like happiness and hope, which I'm sure at Christmas time with this one there is. So I'm really excited to get to this one, and so I had to include it on this list. Another one I'm sure everyone is seeing everywhere that I have not read yet is All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. In this book, you are following Sadie and Max, and they have both been selected to be contestants on a American Idol type singing talent show, and they get paired up to do a duet. And the world is just charmed completely by the romantic chemistry between the two as they do this duet. So the producers come to them and say, listen, we gotta have ratings, so you guys are gonna have to pretend to be dating on and off stage. So they find themselves in a fake dating situation at Christmas time, and I'm sure it's a very interesting dynamic because from what I can tell, they're still competing against each other, but they're also pretending this romance. I don't know if that will come into play at all, but I feel like that would bring some tension and some natural drama. So we will see, but this one sounds so cute to get to this Christmas. This next book is very controversial, but I stand by my opinion that it's one of my favorite, but so many people have dissenting opinions to that, and that is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. It really reminded me of one of my favorite Christmas romance movies, and that is 12 Days of Christmas, where the girl gets spritzed with perfume in a Macy's type of store. She falls, she hits her head, and she keeps reliving the day over and over again until she gets Christmas right. And that is essentially the plot of this book as well. In it, you are following Maylin Jones, and she is headed home for Christmas to Utah, where her family always spends Christmas in this cabin with two other families that they have grown up with and are beloved family friends. They all get together for Christmas time every year, and unfortunately, the Christmas doesn't end the way that she thinks it's going to, and as she's leaving the cabin from Christmas, she gets into a little car accident, bumps her head, and wakes up on the plane to Utah to live it all over again. And she has to figure out what has her caught in this time loop, what she has to do to get it right, and I adored it. I laughed so many times in this book. And then, like I said, I also just really appreciated the storyline of it. So I personally highly recommend this book. If you also enjoyed this book, let me know down below. I feel a little bit like I'm all alone in that opinion, but hopefully there are some of you out there that have read it and love it, or maybe one of you watching this will read it and we'll enjoy it, and then we can talk about it. Next up is a book that I just recently finished, and I love it so stinking much, and it was Christmas at Fireside Cabins by Jenny Hale. First of all, appreciation for this cover because it is so beautiful. I just want to go there. But this is set in the mountains of Tennessee, and you are following Lila as she takes a break from the busy scene of Nashville, and her best friends drive to spend Christmas together in this cabin called Fireside Cabin. But when they get there, they realize that the cabin is nothing like what was portrayed online, but they decide to stay and make it the best that they can because they think that this might be their last trip together for numerous reasons. Life just taking people different directions, which really has Lila down because Lila has lost her parents, so she is all alone at Christmas time without these best friends there. But when she's there, she goes into a coffee shop with her besties and she meets the owner of the coffee shop, and he is not very nice, to say the least, and she becomes determined to get this grump into the holiday spirit. I absolutely loved it. I just loved the vibe. The romance was so cute. I really loved Lila's dialogue with her besties about the grief of losing parents and what that's like at Christmas time. I just absolutely adored it. Cannot recommend it enough. It was very atmospheric and it really read like a movie. So if you were into that, highly recommend. Next up is one that was on my TBR last year, but unfortunately I did not get to it. Hopefully maybe I will this year, but it is Nick and Noelle's Christmas Playlist. Again, I love this cover. I love the traditional green and red colors that they used, just obsessed with it. This one is by Cody Hall, and in it you are following, obviously, Nick and Noelle, and Nick is excited to spend his Christmas with his longtime girlfriend at home, but he finds out shortly before leaving that she has been cheating on him, and so they break up, and his little glimmer of hope for his holiday season is that he still gets to work the local Christmas tree farm with his best friend Noelle. He knows that she's gonna put him right back in a good mood. They always have the best time together, and one night when they're working together, they get a little bit caught up in the moment and they kiss. And it feels so right. And so now there's this tension between do we, don't we, will it ruin the friendship? Obviously friends to lovers. I am so excited to get to this one. It sounds so stinking cute. So if you have been eyeing this one, this is your sign to pick it up this Christmas. Next up is actually my favorite Christmas romance that I read last year, and that is A Cross-Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. This is on Kindle Unlimited, so that's your first plus, and it was so stinking cute. It is just a sweet, wholesome holiday romance, and it read also like a movie. I felt like I was watching a Christmas movie. The way that Courtney Walsh writes just puts you right in the middle of the world that she's writing about. And in this one, you are following Lauren, and she normally doesn't go home for Christmas, but this year her brother and her sister-in-law are expecting a child, and so she's gonna go home and celebrate that and Christmas with them. And her brother arranges a ride for her back home with his best friend Will. She is very surprised to find out that that's who she is riding with, because she has had a crush on Big Brother's best friend Will for a very long time, and you don't exactly know what, but something happened back when they were younger that has really made Lauren hate him later in life. He spends this road trip trying to figure out what the heck he did to make her hate him so much. Slowly but surely the walls come down and they fall in love. It was so funny. There were multiple times I laughed out loud. I love the Big Brother's best friend trope, so that had me very happy, and the romance is just super swoony. I love Will's character so much, so highly recommend this one this holiday season. Another one that I have read and loved by a very beloved author, especially at Christmas time, I feel like, is Merry and Bright by Debbie Macomber. If you love coziness and you have not read a Debbie Macomber Christmas book. Please do me a favor and do it. It is every bit as cheesy as you think they're going to be, but they are so good. I love the way Debbie McComber writes cheese, if that makes sense. She just does it in such a hopeful way and such a wholesome way. I am just here for it, and I really, really loved this one last year. This one in particular actually gives major You've Got Mail vibes. It follows Mary Smith, and she is surprised to find that her mother and her brother make a dating profile for her, and so she starts chatting with this very charming stranger, and it becomes the brightest spot in her day. But then they go to meet in person, and it is the last person she expects to see sitting at that table. And it's just really, really good. Like I said, if you liked You've Got Mail, this is a Christmas version of it. I absolutely love it so much, and I highly recommend it. All right, well, that should get you guys a good starting off place for some holiday romances to get to this holiday season. I might make another one of these videos because there are just so many out there. I also am thinking about making a holiday cozy mystery recommendation video. So if you guys would like to see that, please let me know down below. And if you want to leave an emoji to let me know that you like this content, please leave a music related emoji in honor of All I Want for Christmas. Very excited to get to this one this year. And until I see you guys again, choose coziness over chaos this Christmas season, and I will see you in my next bookish video. Bye!